Quick one from the Burton Builds garage here. This is my Dewalt Orbital sander. I think it's a DWE6423. Not super impressed with the sander, with the quality of it, but also I am impressed with the quality of it. It kind of doesn't make sense, a little bit contradictory. So I've had this for a little bit of time already. I've used it quite a bit. It actually works really well. It's got an on-off switch and it's got a variable speed setting. So that makes it really nice. You can control it exactly how you want to sand. However, the downside that I've found with this specific model is that the hook and loop has worn out, I think, way too quickly. So at the moment, you know, like pads like this, you get these Velcro pads. I mean, these are the Bosch pads, so they should be fairly good. You kind of stick a pad on there and you sand with it for about 10 minutes and then the pad just flings itself off, and it actually gets really irritating. And these pads are not cheap. If you think about how often it is getting flung off, and once it flings off the first time, that is pretty much it. You can stick it back on, it stays on for another 30 seconds and just flings itself back off once again. I've tried a number of different brands of pads. I've actually tried the Bosch ones, Ruvach, there's another one, Blacksmith, I think. What is the other? I can't even remember. There's a couple of them. They all do the same thing, which is pointing towards the hook and loop, or the hook on the backing pad on the sander that is actually worn out. This does wear out. It is a consumable item, and generally if you press too hard with the sander, it overheats the plastic, and then the little hooks, they melt, and then of course they don't hook anymore. Now, I haven't really abused this sander, but I have used it. It still works really well. I mean, like, if you I've used it in a hobbyist situation, not in a commercial environment, so it shouldn't have worn out already. And that's why I say I'm not super impressed with the backing pad side of it. You can get replacement backing pads for these things. I think I was searching online here in South Africa. I think Power Tool Services sell them, CRB Partners sell them. I think they're about 250 Rand for a backing pad. But like places like Builders Warehouse, where I bought this machine from, they don't sell any of the consumable parts, which I think is pretty dumb. But anyway, at least if you are in America, you could probably pick up these backing pads anywhere. But in my case, I need this thing to be working, and I'm getting irritated with it now. So I just went down to Builders Warehouse quickly, just bought this Torquecraft brand. It's also a Velcro or a hook and loop style backing pad, but this one you actually put in your drill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel this hook off here, and then I'm going to peel the hook off this backing pad on the Dewalt sander, and then I'm going to try and stick it on, and I'm going to see how well that works, because I need to use this thing today. And if I had to order a replacement backing pad online, it's going to take 2 to 3 days to get here. Let's get going with the repair and see if this works. I'm not sure if it is going to work, and if it does, well, it might be an easy way for you guys to replace your backing pads if you want to do it very quickly. I have also ordered a Bosch Orbital sander right now. It should be at between 3 and 4 o'clock this afternoon. It's currently 12:30, so let's see if that happens. And if it does get here, then I'm just going to ditch this whole project and I'm going to move over to a Bosch Orbital sander. So this is a bit of a run and gun style video, a little bit less production quality than I normally post on the channel, but hopefully you guys still appreciate it. So to get this backing pad off here, there's 4 of these screws that you remove. It's a Torx head screw. I can't actually remember what size it is. I can have a look for you now. Actually, it is a T20 Torx. So 4 of those, and the backing pad should come right off. And hopefully, as I said, hopefully we are able to peel this hook off. And I think I'm going to try and use some contact adhesive to to glue the new hook pad on here. It's not really going to help the fact that my contact adhesive is also a little bit old, so hopefully it is actually going to stick. Okay, so there's the sander itself. As I said, I mean, this has actually been a really wonderful sander. It's just the pad that is the weak point that I've found so far. I suppose this is not the normal way you would do stuff. I mean, I don't know if this is going to work, but I mean, this backing pad is pretty much useless, or it's rubbish at the moment. So even if this doesn't work, it's not really a waste. The only thing I've really wasted is buying this little part, but this thing was only a couple of rand, so I think it is worth a try. And the pad seems to be coming off fairly easily. Hopefully it also comes off just as easily off this this new pad. There we go. Cool. Before we go ahead and glue that new pad on, let's pop on one of these Bosch. I mean, these are Bosch pads. It says made in Switzerland. Oh, they should be pretty good. So if we stick one of those on like that, I mean, that should be, yeah, that is holding on way stronger than what it was on this pad. And it just really comes off there very easily. So yeah, I think that'll work. Of course, there aren't any holes here for the dust to be extracted through, but once we have glued this pad onto the backing pad, then I'll make all the holes and everything should work just as it was originally intended to work. I actually need my scraper, but it's outside, so of course I'm just going to try and use a steel ruler here. Maybe we can wedge it in. Where did I have it apart? Here we go. This is glued down pretty damn tight. I don't want to go putting a carpet knife or a Stanley knife in here, and then, I mean, we all know how that normally ends up. Slipping, and then you cut half your fingers off. I don't really feel like doing that now. Okay, there we go. Got it off. So yeah, I think we'll be able to glue this onto here, and it should work. Sure. I will tell you that that was pretty tough to get off. So whatever glue they used on here, man, I want some of that. I'm going to slap a little bit of this contact adhesive on it, see if it works. As I said, this stuff is pretty old, so my hopes aren't really high. I mean, you can see it's a little bit sticky actually. It should normally be a bit runny, but let's see what we can do. You never know. It might just work. Also might not. I think this stuff, eesh, man. I think this stuff is past its sell by. Come on. We don't want to put it on too thick. So, steel ruler is quite a versatile thing. Yep, probably shouldn't be using it for this, but anyway, that's what I've got on hand at the moment. So with this contact adhesive, I'm not going to put excessive amounts on. Just a really thin layer should be enough to cause it to stick. And of course, you do leave it dry for a couple of minutes until it gets pretty much like dry to the touch. I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes or so, depending on how hot it is outside. And then after that, clamp it together and then leave it, you know, for preferably a couple of hours for it to start curing. We don't have a couple of hours, so I might just leave it for 1 hour or so. And then we'll take things from there. So there we go. That's the one section. Let's pop it on here. Of course, what I probably also should have done was clean this off with a bit of benzene or something. But as things are happening, we are kind of hacking this together, so not sure how it's going to turn out. Just like that. Nice thin little layer. So we'll leave this dry for, I don't know, 10 minutes or so until you can touch it and it's not really sticky or wet. Pop these two things together and yeah, that's it. About 15 minutes later, you can see this is all now dry. So it's not ticky, it's not tacky or anything. So it should be good to go. I'm going to try and get this scented as good as possible. There we go. And that's it. So got to put some weight on this thing, and then we'll let it dry for about an hour or so, and hopefully by that time the glue has had enough time to, you know, to set up a little bit, and it should be good to go. What I am going to do, so I'm going to get some weight on that. I think I'll just do that. Got a nice big chunk of steel here. I'll put that on there so we keep a nice amount of weight on there. I'll get some more actually. Here we go. This is going to be a better option. That's quite a hefty piece of steel. See you just now. This video is so rough and ready that I even forgot to plug the microphone in. Apologies for that. Hopefully the previous part of the video was somewhat watchable. But anyway, here we are. Everything should be dry. It's been about an hour and a half, so I'm sure that this is going to be fine. I don't know. We will find out pretty soon. Let's pop this thing back on. Oh wait, hang on. I'm still got to make the various holes here. These are actually really nice to have around, these scalpel blades. Super sharp. You know, when you do need something really sharp to be cutting with, but you do have to be careful because they are so sharp. This is really hardly believable, but one of these, I can't remember, I think it was this one actually. This is going to sound so dodgy. I found this handle when I was in Paris, in Le Bourget. It was on the street, so probably shouldn't have picked it up. It looked pretty clean when I picked it up. So, and I recognized it straight away, being a scalpel handle, and I didn't know, or I didn't have a handle that suited this size of blade, but I had the blades, and as luck would have it, well, it fitted the blades that I need. But how's that? This little guy from South Africa happened to be in Paris in Le Bourget doing a bit of training for some flight simulator training at, I think it was flight safety. And yeah, on the way, well, it was just in some of our downtime, we were walking in the streets, you know, just between the hotel and flight safety, the flight sim place. And yeah, I picked this thing up. So, well, I wasn't the first one that picked it up. Mickey picked it up. I saw it, and and he picked it up. Yeah, and then we washed it off, and yeah, here it is. Well, washed it off. It looked pretty clean. It wasn't full of blood or anything. It's very strange for it to be lying in the street. Nevertheless, bit of a useless story, but what I'm going to try and do is kind of stick it in the bottom and cut around. I don't know if it's going to work. There we go. There's one of the holes. Oh, that does not look very neat at all, but it will work. So let me get the rest of them cut out. No, I just remembered. I do apologize. Mickey, it wasn't you, actually. It was another first officer that was with me. I can't remember now what the guy's name was. I can clearly remember his face. I think if you actually look back in my videos where we went to, what is that place called? That big fun park that's there? Disneyland. That's what it was. The chap that was with me at Disneyland, that was the guy that was with me when we found this handle in the streets of Paris. So, Mickey, sorry about that. It wasn't you. You were with me the first time that I went to Paris. We were doing our flight training, or our simulator training, on the Embraer 120. So yeah, that was quite fun times. That was quite a while ago. I think that was back in 2017. So yeah, good times, and I still remember them. Okay, there we go. So we've got all the holes. They're a bit rough and ready, but you know, that's the order of today's project. There we have it. Better than new. Well, you know, not really, but probably. Let's go see how this thing works. super stoked with the way this thing has come out so far. So far it's holding up. If you can hear this, I'm not sure if you can. So it's still gripping on there really nicely. Super glad about that. It does look a little bit hacked and bashed here at the bottom, but that doesn't really matter. This is more of a functional thing. So if you are also having a problem and you need to make a quick fix with your Orbital sander, this might be an option for you. If you've got any other little like tips and tricks when it comes to making these backing pads or the hook and loop backing pad last a little bit longer, let us know in the comments. It's always great to hear all the little tips and tricks that everybody has accumulated over the years, and you know, we share these things with each other and then we all learn. Thanks very much for watching so far. Sorry about the audio in the beginning of the video. I know it was a bit sketchy, but you know, these things happen with this kind of, what did I say, run and gun, rough and ready type of video. Wasn't expecting to do this, but anyway, here we are. So hope you did find it useful. Also, if you did, please let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. I'll find another DIY video that you might be interested in. I'll put it kind of up here on screen. Go and watch that. I'm pretty sure you're going to find it useful. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video. Please also don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I really do appreciate it, and it really does help the channel. Thanks very much. Ciao.